Kamangunenyu ale bye eng olda tugul ole mitei agwatochin eng logoiwekab emet kongete Kass TV ne somanun kwane Bernard Tanoe. Kakobut Ministry nebo Somanet Board nebo sukulitab Utumishi Girls Academy nemite Gilgil eng county nebo Nakuru kosubkei ak nyasutietab maat nekobel dormitory nebo sukulinoto kole koibet sobonukwak ak kipsomaninik 16 ak kikoten alak 79. Kamwa Minister nebo Somanet Julius Ogamba kole kakibut board nebo sukulinoto kosub ak nemayai kit age tugul koker kole mitei komie chametabgei nebo kipsomaninik eng sukul, mising ko arorutiet netelelchini chametabgei nebo kipsomaninik kou ole iyaroru ng'atutikab somanet. Kamwa kora Ogamba kole kipchini kakwautik chekimen konetik oeng chekinyor logoiyot kotinygei ak tetutikab kebel sukul kobate moib kakwautik alak tugul ole tetat kirwokchi kipsomaninik 8 chemwaat kele kitinygei ak pilsetab dormitory noto yeiwongei chikilisiet noto yoe kibagengeitab DCI kongekas akobo ng'alaletab Ogamba.
Preliminary investigations have established the following. Number one, the tragic fire was an act of arson. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations is currently holding and questioning 8 learners who are persons of interest in this investigation. The investigation will ascertain their individual roles in the planning and execution of this heinous act. Those found culpable will be charged in accordance with the provisions of the Penal Code and other relevant laws. We have indications that they will be presented to court as early as Tuesday next week. Number two, the school did not adhere to the safety requirements as stipulated in the school safety manual and the basic education regulations. In particular, there was congestion in the dormitory and one exit door was locked contrary to the prescribed safety requirements. Number three, 2 teachers were informed of this planned unrest by a section of Form 3 learners. However, these teachers did not take appropriate action before the arson, despite having been informed of this incident beforehand. Consequently, and in view of the foregoing findings, we have taken the following actions. Number one, the Board of Management of Utumishi Girls Academy has been dissolved for failing to ensure compliance with the school safety manual and the basic education regulations. Number two, the Teacher Service Commission has been appraised of these findings and is taking appropriate and immediate disciplinary action against the principal for failing to ensure compliance with the school safety manual and basic education regulations. And the teachers who failed to take action despite having been informed of the planned unrest will also be subjected to disciplinary proceedings by the Teachers Service Commission. Number three, investigations are ongoing to establish other aspects of negligence on the part of the officers from the Ministry of Education and the Teachers Service Commission. Appropriate disciplinary and other legal action will be taken against officers found to have been negligent in their duties.
Eng kasaratak ko kakokimit Minister nebo ribsetab kalyet eng emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen kole akoi kobit imanda kotinygei ak kipsomaninik 16 choto koibet sobet eng nyasutietab maat nekobel dormitory nebo sukulinoto bo Utumishi Girls Academy noto mitei Gilgil eng Nakuru County kong'ololi eng igortab graduation eng sukulitab musoknotet noto nebo Belgut TTI eng Kericho County. Komwa Murkomen kole tesetai chikilisiet eng kipsomaninik chemwaat kele kobel dormitory noto asikeipchi kakwautik konamgei ak ng'atutikab emoni. Kokinyoru report noto eng koindo kobun sirindenyo eng taonitab Kericho Robert Siele.
Kong'alalen graduation netai nebo sukulitab musoknotet nebo Belgu Technical Training Institute komwa cabinet secretary nebo ribsetab kalyet en emet Kipchumba Murkomen kole kakoib kakwautik serikalitab emoni kotinygei ak nyasutietab maat en sukulitab utumishi Girls Academy en cheng'etab imanda kotinygei ak noton ole kakenom kipsomaninik 88 kotinygei ak yautyonoton.
Tuko na habari sasa kamili ya kwamba wanafunzi 8 kupitia uchunguzi imepatikana kwamba wanafunzi 8 wanakiziwa kwamba walihusika na kuchoma hiyo dormitory. Hao wanafunzi 8 tayari DCI amewashika na watapelekwa kotini na watabaki na DCI kwa interrogation kupata full evidence ambayo ilifanyika namna gani.
Kosubkei ak Murkomen koibe kakwautik ministry nebo somanet en kandoinatetab sukulinoton en mwaet kole butetab arorutik ak tetutik chebo teksetab komasta neruitos kipsomaninik en sukulinoton.
Pia tunajua ya kwamba hiyo institution kuna mambo ya standard procedures ambayo ilifaa kufuatwa. Number 1, tunajua ya kwamba kuna one side of the dormitory ilikuwa imefungwa ambayo ingekuwa ni exit ya hiyo dormitory, na hapo ndio wanafunzi 10 about 10 students died at that particular corner, kwa sababu hiyo kona ilifunikwa, kawekwa kufuli, ikapigwa mbao, alafu ati ndio kuexpand the dormitory ndio itoshe ilete wanafunzi wengi kujaza hiyo dormitory. Na kwa sababu ya hiyo Ministry of Education will take administrative action on the leadership of the school kuona kwamba hiyo haitarudiwa tena kwa shule yoyote katika Kenya. Pia walimu wengine walipewa habari na wanafunzi ya kwamba kutakuwa na mkasa katika shule, lakini wakapuuza na hawakuchukua hatua. Pia Ministry of Education will take the necessary steps.
En kasaratan koilos Murkomen kipsomaninik cheite 1000 chekaiwang'u somanet en sukulitab musoknotet nebo Belgut TTI. Ng'alalet nekarob eun MP nebo Belgut Nelson Koech Songo en mwaet kole noton ko maketab kandoindetab emet President William Ruto.
That is what we mean by our journey to Singapore. Singapore is not the big buildings that you see out there. Singapore is not the words that you hear out there. Singapore are the small things that we do in our small way that make big change in our society. That is what Singapore is. And that is exactly what Belgut Technical Institute has done. We are already in Singapore, courtesy of you.
As you go out, go and succeed. As you go out, go and look forward. Move to the next level. I know from here we are going to Singapore. From here you've already started going to Singapore.
Kotinygei ak polatet komwa kandoichoton koboto MPs Fred Igana nebo Shinyalu ak John Kiarie nebo Dagoretti South kole kikotestai koib walet serikalitab emoni kondochin President Dr. William Ruto noton makat kelewen kasarta age en lewenisiet nebo kenyit nenyone.
Kwa safari hii ambayo rais anatupeleka kule Singapore inawategemea nyinyi, na mimi nataka niulize, tukiwa hapa Kericho, mna imani kwamba za rais ni ngapi? Munasema ni ngapi?
Ona tutamje kwa rais Lenyano. Women niketu wa UDA wapi tutamje rais yetu. Bora tutamje kwa rais. Adislo kuone ile. Adislo kuone ile. Aniga mwana Kericho.
Aripot ni lugha emet chebo Kass kong'eten county nebo Kericho kainenyu ko Robert Siele.
Tesetai serikalitab emoni kokonoptoi tetutik chebo kirindaetab miondab Ebola nekokoletagei mising eng emetab DRC asimachut emetab Kenya. Nitok ko kosubkei ak Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi nekamwa kole nomegei eun emetab Kenya ak emotinwek alak eng tetutik chebo kirindaetab mionotok bo Ebola. Kong'ololi eng tuyet ak kokimitet anan noton nebo kokimitetab chametabgei nebo kiboitinikab ministry nebo tilyanditab emotinwek chebo sang komwa Mudavadi kole nyolu kochobok emoni koborye mionotok bo Ebola ndawendi at kochut emoni. Bitu nitok eng kasarta nekaitonon kapkirwok kakwautiet notok moche kobois serikalitab Kenya ak emetab Amerika eng taunetab ketesiet nekinyoen biik chebo emetab Amerika chetindoi mionotok bo Ebola chemitei emetab DRC. ole kagon tilet kapkirwok eng betutab komut kasi kole agoi kitonon tetutyonoto agoi kekas aketil kesit noto kokiib kapkirwok koeshoi tetutyonoto.
Last night alone, the President of Kenya had to convene an update session with key development partners and the international community and the UN because of the threat of Ebola, and to see how again we can collaboratively work with the international community to protect Kenya, but also to be a responsible member of the international community. As we have the UN here, apart from the expansion that you all know is going on, when the President and the Secretary General led in the groundbreaking ceremony for the expanded facility, I think it's important for you to know that the same UN is also in conversation with Kenya so that Kenya can become not just the headquarters for the UN entity that is here, but also to become literally the headquarters for humanitarian and logistical programs of the UN in the global south. That is a very, very important objective. And it will not work if we don't pull together. Part of this conversation was to see how we can collaborate. We are lucky so far that we don't have any Kenyan who is affected, but we should not pretend that it may not happen. And we should not pretend that we may not be called, we may not be required to help in the coordination of an international or regional response. So Kenya can become an anchor of this kind of international interventions. So forget about the misleading impression that setting up facilities of this nature are geared to only handle foreign people. No. Kenya is setting up almost 16 or thereabout intervention centers of that nature, because we don't know. We are being prepared. We are being proactive. Surely we cannot be so stupid to go and just say we are bringing a disease and carrying it and sprinkling it amongst our people. No, no, no. We are actually being proactive. In the event this disaster hurts, what do? So we must be prepared for both the citizens of Kenya and also be prepared because we are a significant player within the international arena. So this is sometimes how you are misinterpreted or how we are misinterpreted, but you have the nerve, you have the resilience to be able to withstand and be able to project and explain some of these situations effectively to our other people and to the citizens of this country.
Yekitestai ko yoe kit age tugul serikalitab Kenya koker kole mabitu rarunet age tugul nebo mwanik eng emet, kamwa Minister nebo Energy Opiyo Wandayi kole tesetai konyoru mwanik emoni kobun emotinwek chebo sang kosubkei ak boisietab tetutiet noto nebo G2G kole tesetai koitu melisiek anan koitu melisiek eng port nebo Mombasa koibu mwanik kosub ak Wandayi ko ingandan mite barak olietab mwanik eng emet ko kaikai komi mwanichatak asimatelelso boisionik eng emetab Kenya ak kounotok ko tesetai serikali koboisien tetutionoto bo G2G eng ng'aletab mwanik kobun emotinwek chebo sang asimabit rarunet age tugul nebo mwanik eng emetab Kenya.
The government of Kenya remains fully committed to ensuring reliable, accessible, and affordable energy for all Kenyans. And Kenya's priority is clear. it remains very clear to keep fuel flowing, keep the economy moving, and protect citizens from unnecessary shocks. I wish to shed more light on two key issues which have become pertinent in the recent past. That is supply and price. Now, on supply, Kenya remains secure. Fuel continues to arrive as scheduled. Storage levels are stable, and distribution across the country is ongoing without any interruption. In short, there's no national shortage whatsoever. And systems at the port of Mombasa and the inland depots continue to operate normally. We have, as a matter of fact, institutionalized spot checks at all levels of storage and supply to ensure full compliance. On price, this, as you know, is determined by global market forces beyond the control of any single country. But while international prices have risen and fluctuated in recent months, it is important to note that Kenya's systems are designed to mitigate these changes in a structured and predictable way. At a time when global energy markets remain uncertain, Kenya's fuel supply remains secure, stable, and very well managed. The government-to-government framework is working as intended. That is, anchoring supply, reducing exposure to volatility, and providing a buffer during global uncertainty. This framework provides Kenya with a key advantage, and that is predictability. This stability has been one of Kenya's biggest advantages in managing supply reliability and cushioning consumers from even sharper price shocks. And let me say this, again, for avoidance of doubt, that it is principally because of the G2G fuel importation framework that Kenya has not suffered the kind of petroleum product shortages that have been witnessed in a vast number of countries in the region and beyond. It may look like a miracle why in Kenya the debate has been about price and not about availability of the stocks. We must credit this state of affairs to the G2G framework. But beyond this, the G2G framework has also enabled greater diversification in sourcing fuel.
Kainde siyet President William Ruto bilishek somok chetokchinigei kokanapta tetutikab sorunet, ripsetab timwogik ak pcheitaetab rabinik koba counties koek ng'atutik. Bilishek choto somok ko nebo National Disaster Risk Management Bill newendi koteleljini tetutik chebo kirindaetab nyasutik anan disasters kobun taunetab kibengeitab National Disaster Risk Management Authority ak County Disaster Risk Management Committees koboto Forest Conservation and Management Amendment Bill 2025 newendi kokonoptoi tetutik chebo ripsetab timwogik ak nebo Equalization Fund Appropriations Bill 2025 newendi kokimiti tetutietab devolution kobun pcheitaetab rabinik chebo bandaptai koityi counties chebo emoni.
Kind permission, I now invite the Clerk of the National Assembly to present the vellum copies of the bills for your consideration and assent.
Instructions of the Speakers of Houses of Parliament to place before you the vellums for your assent.
Good morning.
The bill has traveled a long legislative journey in houses of parliament. Initially having been introduced in parliament by the then chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee and member for Kikuyu constituency in the last parliament. Majority party bill in this parliament. The Senate, Your Excellency, and the Senate made amendments to it, which initially the two houses disagreed. We have a bill providing for the manner of dealing with national disasters. It has always been a lacuna in our law, and the bill categorizes disasters in three categories: a national disaster, a disaster at a county level, and a disaster that can happen in more than one county. The bill also provides that in case of disasters of a huge magnitude, the President can announce a situation of national disaster and therefore require all state resources for purposes of management of the disaster to be channeled towards management of that disaster.
Excellency, sir, I now invite you to hand over the copies of the Act to His Excellency, the Deputy President, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Attorney General, for publication into law, and to the Cabinet Secretaries present for implementation. The leader of the majority party in both houses of parliament, and other members of parliament present, and all esteemed
Nyalu eng sirikab logoiwek koboto kabarastoik alak chetete kobeljigei boroinwek cheterter chebo kandoinatet eng lewenisiet nebo 2027 kosub ng'atutik chetelelchin letaetab logoiwek eng emoni asimaruche kebeberta age tugul nebo bolotet eng kasuldaetab boisionikwai agoi kasarta nekoistogei ichek eng boisiet. Kosubkei ak CEO nebo Media Council of Kenya Dr. David Omoyo kotindoi imanda sirikab logoiwek kobeljigei ng'echerokab kandoinatet kobate nyalu kogen agoi koistogei eng boisiet asikoyai bolotet ole tesetai Media Council kochobei arorutiet newendi kosubi sirikab logoiwek chemache kosom ng'echerokab kandoinatet eng kasarta netakomitei ichek eng boisiet asi maruchi ichek kebeberta age tugul noton nebo bolotet.
Lakini ni kweli kwamba tumesikia wengi wanataja, hatujawaona wakiwania. Kwa hivyo sasa jukumu letu ni kwamba tunatoa muongozo ule ili wale ambao wanataraji kwenda kuwania viti hivi wajue kwamba kuna muongozo fulani, ili wale wengine ambao pia wanawania viti vile vile wasije wakalalamika kwamba wanahabari wametumia vyombo vya habari ili katika mashindano haya na sisi ambao tunakaa kama tumeumizwa. Kwa hivyo tunataka kwamba wanahabari ama wafanyakazi wa vyombo vya habari ndio, na ni furaha zaidi kwamba wakaweza kujitoza kwenye vinyang'anyiro vya uchaguzi katika viti mbalimbali. Lakini ni kwamba kwa sababu vyombo vya habari vinatumika kwa wale ambao ni wanahabari na wale ambao sio wanahabari, kwa hivyo inabidi kwamba wale ambao ni wanahabari ama wamiliki wa vyombo vya habari waweze kusonga ama kufuata maadili fulani, ili wale ambao hawana ile nafasi waweze pia kutumia vyombo vya habari kueneza sera zao na kufanya kampeni bila upendeleo wowote. Wasije wakalete aibu kwenye tasnia ya wanahabari. Kwa maana hapa kwamba miaka yako yote umeshinda hapa kuwakashifu wale ambao wamekuwa viongozi, kisha kwa sasa wewe mwenyewe unataka kuwa kiongozi, uende pale ukawa kwamba wewe ndio mtovu wa nidhamu kuliko wale ambao walikuwa unawakashifu itakuwa aibu sana kwa tasnia. Watasema bwana hawa wanahabari wanajifanya kuwa na maadili wanapokuwa kwenye vyombo vya habari tu, wakija huku nje wao ndio vibaraka na ambao hana maadili zaidi. Kwa hivyo tunaomba kwamba wanapojitoza kwenye vinyang'anyiro hivi mbalimbali na wale ambao watabahatika kuchaguliwa, tuone maadili yale na ule uongozi mwema ambao wamekuwa wakihubiria kwa miaka yote, tuone wakiufuatilia katika uongozi ule. Kwa maana yani ni furaha, tunavyofurahi kwamba wanaenda, tunaamini kwamba kwa vile wametumia mida yao yote wakihubiri kwamba tunataka uongozi bora. Kwa hivyo tunataraji kwamba watakapoingia katika nyadhifa za uongozi, basi watafanya jinsi walivyokuwa wakihubiri.
Nenetesetai ko tesetai konyoru chamet karishek choto maboishen mwanik anan karishek choto chebo sitimet eng emoni, ole kokwal kampunitab chaik nebo Browns Plantation Kenya lorishek 15 chebo sitimet eng toretet kobun benkitab NCBA. Koikochin CBA kampunitab Browns Plantation Kenya besendo nebo aletab lorishek choto kole tetat kwal lorishek alak 15 eng koneket. Kong'ololi eng igorta nebo kokoitoetab lorishek choto koityi kampunitab Browns Plantations Kenya eng Kericho, komwa director nebo Asset Finance and Business Solutions eng NCBA Lennox Mugambi kole kikotaban benkinoto bo NCBA rabinik cheite bilion 2 chekikonoptoen sekta noto nebo karishekab sitimet anan EV mobility cheimuchi kosom biik ak kampunishek asikwale karishek choto bo sitimet. Eng komastanyi komwa CEO nebo Browns Plantation Kenya Danshant Ratwate kole bendi lorishek choto kotoreti kampunit noto bo Browns Plantation koregune rabinik choto koboishe eng aletab mwanik choto chebo diesel eng karishek chik, koboto korib itondab emet ole tesetai ichek kotokyingei nguno boishetab karishek choto chebo sitimet eng kasuldaetab boishonik chik choto chebo loisetab chaik.
What brings us here is to participate in a very monumental opportunity for us. So today we are here in Kericho to deliver the first batch of 30 EV trucks, the first of their kind in this market, and the largest transaction so far done in this for EV vehicles in this market. So it has been a long time coming because we had to structure the design of these vehicles in line with the expectation of Browns Plantation Kenya Limited. Therefore, this is a bespoke solution. It has taken us 2 years to get here, and finally it is here. What I can assure you is that looking at where the energy costs or prices of diesel is today, the total cost of ownership of these EV trucks is significantly lower than the internal combustion engine. So what we are seeing is that we expect similar customers in the agriculture sector, that is tea, plus even the long haulage transporters. We expect them to now start transitioning into EVs. We are aware that charging infrastructures are being set up along the Mombasa-Malaba route. So that will then also help in that transition. But it is here with us, it is happening, and it is going to be a disruptor in this market.
My name is Dushant Ratwata. I'm the Director CEO of Browns Plantation Kenya. And we are gathered here today to introduce the electric trucks. As we are trying to replace the diesel trucks here. Yeah, looking at the future, of course, we have a key strategy in our company, a vision, I would say, that we will be carbon zero by 2040. So that is one of our key strategies that we started this, and also looking at the cost escalation of the diesel and the fossil. We have thought of going in for carbon reduction electric vehicles, because this is one of the key elements that it emits carbon monoxide to the environment. So that is one of our key areas that we want to introduce electric trucks. On operational, if you look at these trucks These trucks are going to replace some of our diesel-fueled vehicles, and with the current the cost escalation in fuel, you could see within the last 1 month there was almost a 30-40% increase in fuel. So this is going to replace that the high cost in our operations. Plus, we as a company, we have our own electricity production, so by solar and by hydropower. So these are going to be powered. These vehicles are going to be powered by those. So it's more of a sustainable activity that we are looking at. That's on the operation side. So if you look at the sustainability side, our strategy in our company is to make sure that we go carbon zero by 2040.
I'm Chalker Kansteiner. I'm a co-founder of Elandex, and I'm here at the beautiful BPK plantation in Kericho. I think this is a demonstration that you can do economically viable commercial EVs, and that you can also do good while doing well in terms of creating emissions reductions and cost savings, as well as increased energy security and operational security by having your own power generation, your own charging facilities, and your own EVs.
In 2023, NCBA came up with a bold strategy called Change the Story, to which our sustainability activities are anchored. In that, we have 15 bold commitments. One of the key commitments that we had within Change the Story was to deploy 2 billion for EV infrastructure and in Kenya. And I'm very glad that today we are moving a serious milestone in actualizing this commitment around EV trucks.
Eng let ko kaibeljigei benkitab Cooperative Bank konunotiot noton nebo SME Bank of the Year in Africa. Eng konunoikab African Bank Awards nekokiyai eng makawetab Kempinski Hotel eng taonitab Brazzaville eng emetab Congo, kokiyai igorta nebo kokoitoetab konunoichotok eng tabandab tuyet nebo kenyit nebo benkitab African Development Bank nekotetei African Bank Magazine and IC Events eng toretet kobun benkitab African Development Bank. Koibel konunotiondo noto benkitab Cooperative kosubkei ak nikikoib boroindo netai eng taunetab tuguk chelelach anan innovation chekikotoret eng kanaptaetab mung'arenyi. Koindo benkitab Cooperative Bank eng kanaptaetab mung'aroshek chemengechen ole koibel benkishek alak chebo Africa akobeljigei konunotiondo noto bo SME Bank of the Year in Africa Award ole kaibor boiboiyet neo CEO nebo benkitab Cooperative Bank Dr. Gideon Muriuki nekamwa kole wendi noto kokochini cherset benki noto bo Cooperative Bank kokanapta mung'arenyi. Kokoyotok ko kakeit let eng logoiwekab emet chekaitun kong'ete Kass TV. Kainenyu ko Bernard Tanoi. Amagun kit age tugul nemie testai iker Kass TV amu kimnotet naet.